Hi, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. And yeah, we'll let a few more people trickle in, and then we'll get started. Hanging out, live stream. Here we go. Still getting the setup all dialed in. It's a whole thing. It's a journey doing this. So in the chat, let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. Let's hang out. Let's do this thing. You can hear me fine. Okay, cool. Low volume. Low volume. Okay. Check, check, check. Is that better? Turn it up. All right. I just don't want it to clip. Check, check, check. Let me see. I can adjust my mic if my guitar is... Hopefully my guitar is plenty loud. Check, 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 check. Turn that up a little bit more. Volume's fine. Sweden checking in. Clearwater, Florida. Nice. Guitar volume's good. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's move some of this stuff out of the way and we'll get going. So on today's live stream, what I wanted to do was just play some stuff. I have the black gold Airline drive right here. I've got the brand new Olympus right here. I have somewhere in here. We probably don't need to plug this up, but I do have the new buffer, which there it is. I don't know. We could probably hear that. I have a Vipera, which we're going to be kind of blowing out soon, and a few other things from some friends. So we'll see how it goes. Chris, it all sounds good, and more importantly, you look good. Well, thank you. I'm getting this beard trimmed because in 2 weeks we're going to Sweetwater, and I want to get my hair cut and my beard trim and get all fancy. North Dakota, nice. And like you can probably see on the bottom of the screen, I feel like I should adjust my camera and angle that down a little bit. Let me do that. That's a little better. Okay, cool. But like you can see on the bottom of the screen, if you buy a pedal while, I don't know how long I'm going to leave this coupon up, but use the coupon code, here it is, Livestream. You can get free shipping on the website. So if you want an Airline drive, we still have some old art chupacabras, t-shirt, hat, whatever, like this Mythos hat. And yeah, but anyway, we're going to start with the Airline drive because we haven't done a whole lot about it. You know, we've made a few videos. We've done, I did a video kind of explaining it. RJ did a video. I sent one to Premier Guitar because, you know, video reviews or reviews in general from them are typically free. They just take a long time. So who knows when that will see the light of day. But yeah, it has been sent out. So, yeah. Setup today at the moment is the Strandberg. I've got the Plenty here because why not? Let's use something different. And I'm going into the neural plugin that is, I'm going to pull it back up so I can see everything. It's the Tone King plugin, and I have a couple other plugins fired up and ready to go. So if we want to hear it with a different amp sound, we can do that. But for now, this is the bypass signal. These pickups are kind of hot, so it's going to be kind of a pushed clean sound. So that's the bypass signal, the pedal bypass, just the Tone King plugin. The cool thing about this guitar is even though it's 2 humbuckers and it has a 3-way switch, the middle position is like a coil split. And it sounds pretty good. So let's get into it. So the Airline drive, if you're not familiar, for the uninitiated, is 2 of basically the same circuit, right in a row. But Suite 8 is tweaked to reflect what Novo likes. They're through that wall right over there. And Suite 9 reflects what myself and the rest of the crew at Mythos likes, which is behind that bluish green wall behind me. And there's a little difference. So the left side has a little bit more low end, a little bit more treble. It's a little lower gain, where the right side has more gain, less bass, less treble, and a different clipping arrangement. So just an overall different feel. It may not come across very well on this that it is drastically different, but it feels different under your fingers, and more importantly when you're playing loud. And this this pedal works really well in like a gig sort of environment situation. So here we go. On the Suite 8 side, here's the bypass sound. Kicking it on with the gain, or the more knob, all the way down. So I hope you can hear it. Just kind of adds a little hair when it's on the lowest setting. It's a slight boost. It's not that much above unity. And in this situation, you probably won't hear much of a volume increase at all. But it does have a slight bump. So if we increase the gain, I'll go to the bridge pickup. Turn that off. So it sounds very natural. And if you hear some noise, that is my setup, which is noise central. It is, this office is incredibly noisy. But yeah, you can hear kind of the natural gain sound. So there you go. And as we increase the gain, it jumps pretty high after you get past noon. Keep going. So, you heard that. Bypassed. So there's a lot of juice on the left side. I'm not even all the way up, and the right side has even more. So if we keep going. All things Weatherly from Baltimore, Maryland. This is Max on the gain. So a lot of juice, and it has like a real fuzz-like feel, and you can kind of hear that. You can hear that kind of overall fuzz-like characteristic that's shining through on this side. So now if we go over to the right side, Suite 9, Suite 9 feeds into Suite 8. But if we start using it, you're going to hear, hopefully, the subtle differences. So I'll push this up to here, and when we get there, we'll kind of go back and forth, right? So... So as we kick that gain up a little bit, Rhett Shaw, much subtle, very different. I'm using Rhett's favorite guitar, and I can do this. Which I love, you know. But anyway, if we go back and forth between those two, it's not sounding very different in my ears. I hope it's coming across different for you guys. We'll keep pushing the gain on Suite 9. So you can start to hear the gain kick in, and it's more obvious that this side, Suite 9, has more gain happening. So you can really hear that there's more punch, more gain, and you know, a little more volume and more aggression happening in Suite 9, which is what I wanted. And as we crank the gain, uh-oh. The GoPro. I'm probably gonna have to like tap it every now and again to keep it from falling asleep. Dime it. So if you go back to Suite 8, so that's it. And that's just the start of what you could do, because these two sides work together and they do make a little noise. Yeah. You have the Olympus, and this pedal seems to have a lot more gain to your ears through YouTube. It does have more gain, I think. And you know, it kind of skirts the line between overdrive and fuzz. I play way different with that guitar. I do. And that's kind of why I like it, because it it's just so different, and it makes me approach the guitar differently. And I have a more, there's a bunch of guitars in the room, but I have another one right over here I can grab in a second that's a little more normal. But yeah. But yeah, the amount of gain on this thing, if you crank both, well, let's see. We'll crank this one and then we'll dial this one in. So here we go. So there's Sweet 9 cranked. Crank it up. Both dimed, a lot of noise, but you know, it's rock and roll. I switch to the neck pickup. But it takes a lot. It does clean up. It disappears because there's a lot of gain. If you go just to one side, yeah, let's switch it. Let's go to Sweet 8 and have that up. There's a lot more dynamic control, and if we crank the gain down, you're going to hear. If you roll the volume back, this guitar just has a single volume knob, so it cleans up really well. So there you go. That's kind of the Airline drive. Like you can get a bunch of different sounds by using them both together. But you know, it kind of there's all sorts of stuff you can do with these two sides. Now, how does it sound with single coils and a guitar with a headstock? Well, I'll just show you. I have no idea if this guitar is in tune. And I know I didn't bring a Novo. There's one in here behind me, but it has some prototype pickups. And whoa! But I love this guitar too. And it has some really interesting pickups that are, they look like a Jazzmaster, but if you look closer, you're going to see, and the thing was way sharp, you're going to see it has 3 screws. You can probably see that while I'm tuning here on that neck pickup. And the idea is like it's a perfect marriage of a Stratocaster style and a Telecaster style pickup. And I think that Chris Swope, who makes all this stuff, he winds the pickups himself, builds these guitars himself, has really landed on something that is incredible. So it's gonna hum because these are full-fledged single coils, but that's the bridge. So go back to the neck. Sounds kind of puny compared to those humbuckers because they're hot. But anyway, let's get this thing fired up and get some tones of the Airline drive in this guitar. And we're not going to walk through every single pickup combination. but we'll get a few here. Make sure the GoPro doesn't fall asleep. So that's the Swope for the Sweet 8, and then Sweet 9. Oh, guest.
Special guest.
McKinley's guitar is in here. You out of here? Oh, okay. But yeah, so there is a single coil sound with the Airline drive, and if we start like diming or cranking some stuff, maybe not diming it, you're gonna see kind of how it sounds with this thing. Whatever. We're having fun. Okay. So that's the Airline drive. I thought it was prudent of me to talk about it, show it again, because we're going to keep making them as long as you guys keep buying them and enjoying them. And the next colorway will hopefully be a little more reminiscent of a Novo guitar. And we have some other stuff we're doing that's going to be going outside the States again. And then we'll probably circle back to the red because everyone liked it so much. But really happy with the Airline drive. It's one of my favorite circuits we've made yet, and it's just a really fun pedal to play and integrate into your setup because it's so different. You know, it's not a pedal that most people. Or it's not a feature set that most people think to add to their rig. Like, oh, I need an overdrive that just has 2 gain knobs and that's it. But for myself and most of the guys here at the shop who like simplicity, who just want stuff that sounds really good and is kind of foolproof, I feel like the Airline drive excels at that. So now I'm going to swap for the new Olympus. And hit me up some questions while I'm swapping. I know the timing of this is going to be kind of weird because the YouTube, the time it takes for it to hit the stream from the time I say it, it's not always synced up. But Dan Crow asked, if you only have the dough for either an Airline or a 1347, which way should you go? It depends on what you like. If you want a 1347, or sorry, if you want more of a traditional fuzz face, I was looking to see if there was one in here. I don't. They're all in the shop. If you want a more traditional fuzz face sound, then the 1347 is the way to go. If you want something that really can do kind of right below a max fuzz face sound and then way more in the overdrive realm where you're not entirely reliant on your guitar's volume knob, you can have a setting that you like, that you don't have to, have this maxed out and then make, oh man, is my guitar on 8 or something? You can kind of control that with this. Then this is the way to go. But, I don't think of them in the same way. I think the 1347 is just kind of its own fuzz. And this is a really deceptively versatile 2-in-1 overdrive. So Let's see. Let's see if I can get this thing. Haha. Blue tape saves the day. Yeah. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Oh man, you got to go to your meeting. Well, this will still be on the internet. I'm not going to pull it unless I say something really stupid. And if that's the case, I'll edit it out and put it back up. It stacks well with other drive pedals too. Which is that, the Airline or the 1347? I feel like they both stack pretty well. But we're going to start with this Olympus now. So what is this? I got a lot of questions, kind of confused, and I was nervous about that. But that's the way it goes when you release something you've already made and you release it in a smaller, different package. So the original 1347 was part of the Spartan series, which was all, the majority of it was through-hole components. It did have some surface mount stuff on the underside of the board that weren't in the signal path, just there for filtering and power and whatnot. And it was a little more cumbersome to make. Of course, we had to put all the parts on, and we had to, wire up the foot switch a little more manually. It's just a little different. But the Olympus, in this smaller format, the 125B enclosure, the JHS, Wampler traditional pedal enclosure, the Earthquaker enclosure, the every pedal enclosure, is now a lot simpler to make. So it's all surface, but we tweaked it so that, it sounds, we had it sounding basically the same. And when I first got the prototypes, I kind of set everything to be what the original was, and it didn't have quite enough bass, so I put in a different cap, and in doing so, went kind of past where the original Olympus was and wound up with a little more low end, and a little, in doing that, it kind of fattens the whole circuit up. It doesn't seem as bright because there's more bass, and just a touch more gain, just the tiniest bit more gain, and we were A-Bing them both and thought, I think I like this one more because it has everything that the original has, and then it does more than that. So, and if less is more, then imagine how much more could be. So that's just where we're at with this. But here it is with the gain all the way down, the volume up. Well, it might need a little bit of gain just so it's not choking out the circuit. We'll play with it. Going back into the Tone King, and small better. It's not better. It's just a little different. We just happen to like it a little more. That doesn't make it better or worse. Here we go. Pretty, I hate using this word, it's transparent. It's transparent. Can't even say it. So. Oh man. How do we block this? Oh, no. Hide user on this channel. There we go. Spam bot. So, I can't really see the LED because the foot switch is in the way, and it's like hard to tell that it's even on with the gain down. So we'll start to crank that gain up a little bit. Bridge. You know, I'm really, really happy with this circuit. Of course, this is just my homage to the Clark Gainster, which is an amazing circuit. Sounds like the original Spartan, just maybe a bit darker. It's not really darker. It's just a little fatter, which makes it seem darker, you know? But all that can be compensated with the presence control. And as you crank the gain on this pedal, it starts to get a little darker as you crank it anyway. So this is one of those circuits where these two knobs, the presence and the gain, are very interactive. Roll that volume back. If we go in the in-between, have the split sound. Which is great. Roll that presence back, get a little. I just really enjoy this circuit a lot. I think it's a really fun pedal that covers a lot of ground sonically. Jeff asked what the next pedal in the Spartan series will be. Is it going away? It's not going away. It's just the Spartan series was an idea I had when I had a little bit more time, and now that time is gone. So we just haven't really had time to invest in making things exactly that way. I mean, the 1347 is technically built like that, and let's see what else is made like that. The Airline Drive is built like a Spartan series, so like, you know, there's things in that vein that aren't necessarily with that label. So what pickups are in the guitar? These are the stock. So this is the Strandberg Pliny model, and these are wound for Strandberg. You'll have to go to the Strandberg website. They're made in California by a small pickup maker, and they are the Pliny signature set, which has got a more PAF-like, slightly harder PAF style bridge, or sorry, neck, and the bridge is a more modern, focused, aggressive bridge sound, which I may actually eventually swap for more lower output thing. And what amp am I going into? I'm going into the Neural Tone King plugin, which sounds pretty astonishing. And by the way, if this GoPro dies at any moment, we'll just have no pedal cam, and that's okay. Let's see. If I only started playing guitar before university, electronic engineer, I believe I would have focused a lot more on analog electronics and frequency response in treatment. I don't know quite what you mean. Just do what makes you happy. So, I don't really know what else there is to say about the Olympus other than it sounds really good. It's more affordable. I mean, it sounds the same, if not better, than the original circuit. And it's $179. It's going to be at dealers. It's not something I'm going to be selling myself. And Mass Street has them. Eastside Music Supply will have them probably tomorrow or maybe Saturday. You know, I'm really proud of it. That we could accomplish something that a lot of people would assume isn't easily doable, like taking a Mojo-filled component pedal and putting it in a more affordable package with SMT parts. But it, you know, again, it just goes to show that if you design it well and you really put your ear to it and do your best to make it sound good, anything can sound good. You just have to take the time. So let me crank the gain. We'll go all the way. So it has, so it's not over the top gain. I always kind of classify this as a true overdrive, but with the gain not maxed, it's got a lot of gain pushing through. Has a lot of gain. If we crank that presence, we'll get a little bit more of the, a little bit more chugs. You can get your, you can do your palm muting punk rock stuff. You know, that sort of thing. But let's grab the Swope yet again and see how it sounds with some more single coily pickups. You love the sound, but can't wrap your brain around the Strandberg. Why can't they have attached to fake headstock? So the whole idea, I mean, apart from if you don't need a headstock, why have it? Is if it's an overhead, really easy. Because it's small and the gig bag is small and it's, I don't know. I'm really excited to have it and take it around and use it. It's the bridge on mine, because it's floating, is a lot to wrap your head around. It's the most complicated bridge I've ever messed with because it has so many options. And in that, it's kind of, you know, it's not impossible. It's just a chore to get it exactly right. But once you dial it in, as long as you change one string at a time, then it's fine. Just don't, if you change your string gauge or something, you have to reset it up. But yeah, never thought you'd hear me play Blink. Oh man, I was huge. I graduated high school in like 2003, you know, so I was the perfect age for Blink-182. And I don't know why it was called the Gainster. You can really, that's crazy, the difference that the output of these pickups are. So if we get everything at noonish, With this lower output guitar, you can really hear the sort of mid-range push that this pedal has. You know, a lot of people will call the Gainster the Hoochie Mama, which is one of the original names for the circuit, which is not, you know, it's in poor taste, but, you know, it's neither here nor there, as transparent. And I think it kind of is when the gain's low, if you crank the volume. But when you crank the gain a little bit, I think that transparency goes away. And have I played the Revstar? I have not. Maybe I'll grab it in a second. I'm kind of tethered to my chair with my little in-ears here. So maybe I can scoot back and grab it. So maybe, let's see if we can get it as transparent as possible. I mean, there's an inherent mid bump in there, and you can hear it. But I mean, most people, you could use it as a boost. It's great for that, but I think most people are probably going to use it as some sort of overdrive. Goose the gain a little bit on this. A lot of hum. Go in the in-between and get rid of that. I need that bridge. Man, see, it just sounds good. Jeff, what model is the Swope guitar? This guitar, here, let me, let's talk about this guitar for a minute. So I'm going to turn my GoPro off. It's getting hot anyway, let's see. And then we will hide pedal cam. There we go. And just go brrr. Remember, you can use that coupon code Livestream, get free shipping on the website for all US orders. Shipping outside the States is expensive. But anyway, the Swope guitar. The Swope is from, I believe this guitar was finished in 2015, 2016. And it was made for the Summer NAMM show. And Chris was exhibiting at the NAMM show and wanted to bring a show guitar that kind of, you know, exemplified what he does as a guitar maker. And he brought a couple. This one is called the Geronimo, and the other one was called the MG. But this one, normally Geronimos have more of a humbucker style pickup arrangement, but this has MG pickups in a Geronimo configuration. And he called this one the Show Pony, and it is pinstriped by, what's his name? Hot Rod Kelly, I think it's the name, Hot Rod. 2015, yeah, 2015. Hot Rod Helly or Kelly? Probably Kelly. And Jeremy Shepard, hey man. And so this guitar came into Carter when I worked there, drink for Dipped in Tone listeners. And it sat there. It sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there, and no one bought it. The MG sold, which was blue and also pinstriped. But this one just hung out, and eventually it took a hit right there. It must have fallen out of a rack. It was probably hanging and went boom like that and hit the concrete. But it's fine. It's structurally sound. There's nothing. You went to high school with Hot Rod Kelly. Oh, say what? But it was just living there. And it was really sad to me because this was an expensive guitar. And basically, Walter Carter knew that I liked it. And he'd always try to offer me a deal on it. And I just never was in the right place, or I couldn't justify having one more guitar. But I ended up deciding, I pulled the pickups out of a DGT PRS, which was a great guitar, but I just decided I had a lot of humbucker guitars, and which I do, and inevitably this is going to be the majority of my collection anyway. But I knew that this was still there. I went by, said, could we trade, something for this guitar? And they gave me an incredible deal, and now I am the steward of this Swope. And it's so funny because my wife, she never was fond of the pinstriping. I don't know how she feels about this shape. Morgan, you can chime in or text me if you're watching. But she remembers this guitar coming in and me saying, "Oh man, there's this guitar that came into the shop and it's so cool. It's this like really neat vintage like Melody Maker like Sunburst, and it's pinstriped and it's got a black pickguard. And it's so neat and it plays so well." And I got it. I came home and I said, "Guess what I got?" And I showed her, and she was so excited that I got this guitar that I had wanted for since that NAMM show, which had to have been, it was either the summer of 2015 or the summer of 2016. I can't remember. I just remember Chris bringing them in and me immediately being enamored by it. And being at the shop was you can really tell the kind of wear and tear that customers will put on a guitar, because the bridge has started to kind of get a little gross from people, putting their hand on it. The frets, I've polished them a little bit, but I need to take it to Dave Johnson scale model and have him really polish them up good. But I set it up, I adjusted the neck, I put some strings on it, and I tell you what, it's really incredible. And one of my favorite things about it is it sounds great. And I'm gonna get into here. I'm gonna pull up this Tone King plugin and actually use. There's a really low gain overdrive in here. Let's see how this sounds, because I want to show you. Roll that treble back a little bit. So the controls on this guitar work remarkably well. I have no clue why. I've opened it up and kind of looked at it and said, well, that's not the most normal wiring, but it shouldn't be any better or worse than anything. So whatever Chris has done is magic, because the volume knob is so even. It's a little dirty, but you can hear how even that taper is. Which is incredible, but the thing that trips me up even more is the fact that the tone knob, I'm going to go with the in-between and kill that hum. The tone knob is wired in such a way that every turn, and it's not as obvious on this, through like, the 2-rock, where's that? Back there. The 2-rock or the PRS, something loud. It is it works so well, and it's a very linear sound. You're right, but I think it's a logarithmic pot, and it has a treble bleed, which I opened up and looked at and deciphered. and it just, I don't know, it's really incredible. So yeah, that's the story of the Swope. I really love this guitar, and you know, it's so different. You know, I can't compare it to anything because it's 25.5 scale, but even though it's the same scale as like my Novos, it doesn't feel as kind of taut as those. It's a little, the tension feels looser because I put like 9.5s or 9s on it, which is normally what I put on like my, you know, longer scale guitars, and it just it was too slinky. And put 10s on it, it's perfect. So, but somebody's wanting to, a sugar tooth wants to hear the Revstar. So let me see if I can reach it. Here we go. We can turn pedal cam back on. Oh man, we've been streaming for a while. Come on, pedal cam. Come on back. You can really hear all the noise. There we go. In between's quiet. So, let me make sure this is in tune. The Revstar is another guitar that just flat out rules. And I have one of the old ones, older, and it's okay, you know. This guitar is great, and the money that they're charging for these, which this one's an RSS02T, is very reasonable, and they're probably like out of stock or something, but it's an awesome guitar. So here we go. The low end on that neck pickup pretty cool. In between, they're kind of bright P90 pickups, but they work. Sounds good. And the coolest thing about this guitar is it's a 5-way switch. So you can do, these things sound really good. So you can do some kind of like quacky out of phase things. So you have, there's the neck. Here's number 4 position. You can hear that almost out of phase Les Paul. Really cool. This is the one Yamaha sent me. Yes, this was a total surprise. Rhett and the Yamaha rep connected, and they had this one, and they sent it to me. This is like from the very first batch, which I think there might be some changes now for the weight, because it's not heavy. The old one's way heavier. But here's the bridge, and then I'll go to the 2 position. 2. This one's really quacky. And you can kind of push on this bridge. which is kind of neat. But if we get a little juice, oh, I'm still on that too. Look over the bridge. Sounds great. Number 2 position. It's so rad. Here's the 4, well, the neck. Here's the 4 position. Would I switch out the pickups? Probably not. You know, I think it would make a difference, but not enough to make me go, oh, this guitar is remarkably better, because it's really good the way it is. You know, and everybody's taste may be different, but they are bright. But sometimes I find aftermarket P90 is too dark. So, I don't know. I'd rather it be on the cusp of being too bright, or being bright, than being too dark. So, they have a year wait list on the Revstars. I mean, like, good for Yamaha, but that sucks for everyone wanting to get one. But in addition to the switch, it does have a little push-pull tone pot that they call it a boost, but it kind of just makes it darker and louder. So maybe it's like a preset tone knob thing to me. Here's the boost. And if we go to the 2 position with no boost, here's the boost. I mean, it's great. It's a great guitar. I brought it to the shop. I showed it on Dipped in Tone. I put it in its case because there's a limit on how many guitars I can keep on stands. And I hadn't played it, and then we busted it out this week, and I just thought, wow, what a guitar. Is it under 8 pounds? I have no idea. It's heavy. I don't think it may be around that, but I'm so ruined by like this, which is like 5 pounds. I mean, this is it's like a chambered and literally doesn't weigh anything. I mean, it's incredible. The worst thing about the Strandberg is putting it on a stand. But yeah, I just really like these in-between sounds because it kind of gives you that, you know, like roll your volume back a little bit. Those things, get a number 4. Turn that off. You know, it's just a cool. What key I'm in sometimes. But yeah, so man, we've been streaming for an hour. I did 2 pedals. That's kind of crazy. So how about we open it up for some questions? I'm gonna grab the Strandberg again. I'm gonna turn on one of these other plugins. And I'll just like goof off and talk, and you guys just hit me with all the questions you have. We'll do it for the next few minutes. And yeah, that'll be great. Let me kill the pedal cam, put that over there again. And remember, if you want a pedal or anything off the website, use the coupon code Livestream and get free shipping in the US of A. So that's on Airline drives. That's on Old Art Chupacabras. That's on merch. I'm probably going to have a blowout on the sweatshirts. I don't know. I have a lot of sweatshirts. Maybe I'll just save them because, you know, not a lot I can do with them. So I'm going to plug up, or I'm going to turn on. I got this. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, here we go. I got this Petrucci plugin because why not, right? So just keep on hitting me with the questions. Am I going to do a release? Am I going to release a new version of the Halloween pedal this year? The Positron Collider? Yeah, that's a goal. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing yet, but the Positron Collider is definitely coming back, and it's going to be fun and have some more stuff going on because I can't help myself, and I want to keep pushing myself to do something new and fun and special. Is the Airline drive based on anything? I mean, it's a single transistor overdrive, which has its roots in a lot of other single transistor overdrives. But is it outright based on another pedal entirely? Not really. Not any more than, you know, some other pedals are. You know, I don't like saying that it's based on something when I've changed the way it sounds entirely. You know, so yeah. What amp? I was playing the I was playing the Tone King Neural DSP plugin. The 2-Rock. And doing the live streams, the simpler the better. And running the aux and all that stuff for me in this room, it does two things. It's cumbersome and it's noisy because the electronics and the wiring in this room suck. So it's not the aux box fault. It's not the 2-Rock's fault. It's just the wiring in this building. So if I'm going to go through all the trouble, I really want to do something easy that sounds really good. And I found these neural plugins just sound so damn good. And let's see, have I had any experience with Eastman guitars? I've played some. They're not my favorite. Are all the big box pedals going to be slimmed down like the Olympus? No. I prefer the big box. It's just this going to the smaller box was kind of to signify its move into the standard lineup. What guitar have I lost the most money on? I've not lost a lot of money on guitars. I've lost a lot of money on amps. I traded my Victoria, and it turned out to be a really bad deal, and I kind of got screwed. But it's going to end well, and I'll save that for another stream. I would love to hear how you get that amazing tone on live stream. What's the approach software? So I use the Neural DSP stuff, and all of that is routed. So I have an Apollo Twin that the SM7B has a cloud lifter. I bought a kit from Ben at Trace Audio. I think that's what it is. But it's a cloud lifter that you install on the back of your SM7B. It's really cool. And I'm going to install that so I can get the cloud lifter off the desk to keep this, this needs the output. But the guitar is going right into that. I'm going into Neural modeling software, and it takes the pedals great. Sounds really good. And to get it into OBS, which is what I'm using to get into YouTube, I use this thing that's called, there's a piece of software you can download for free on Macs called Black Hole. And what that does is it creates a multi-channel output for the output of your laptop or desktop or whatever. And it lets you take stuff that you hear and just route it to OBS. So basically I have everything running in Logic and I'm monitoring in real time, and the monitor mix that I hear is going to the Black Hole, which is linked to OBS, which is coming out to you guys. It sounds, I have like this weird reverb, almost like slap echo in my ears, but when I go back and listen to it, it is not there. So I think that's just an effect of these inner monitors and maybe some latency or something with my own voice in my head. But thank you. But it sounds, the plugin, the neural stuff just sounds out of this world. The Tone King is the main one I'm using. And I got the Petrucci one, which we'll play with that for a second. Sus Mario set V2 ETA. We are prepping them right now. The enclosures are on our trays, getting all the parts put on. We're waiting on some pots and some ribbon cables, but they are en route. Will the Vipera be staying in production or is it getting discontinued? May have a blowout cell on those soon. We are prepping the Viperas as well, and when these are built, I've talked to Wildwood. We're trying to coordinate on what to do, but we're just going to blow them out. And when they're gone, they're gone. And if the Vipera ever returns, it's going to be completely different, because that pedal, I love it. They love it. It's just the market didn't love it. I think because it is channel switching. I pitched to them that we should do it stackable. That's just not what they wanted. And I get it. You know, they're the one that commissioned this. They're paying for them. So, you know, I want to work with them, but it's just the way it is. You know, I think they sound great. I'm proud of it. And I think if people used it, they'd really like it. So, yeah. Having an overdrive with a pre and post gain boost that's activated with the same foot switch? No. Have I heard the UA pedals? Yeah, I've heard them. I haven't heard them in person. I think they sound really good. I think compared to, like, you know, anything else on the market that is that small and, you know, serves that purpose, I think they sound the best so far, at least to what I've heard on YouTube, but I haven't played them. I think the Strymon Iridium doesn't sound very good, which is a shame because I think all other Strymon pedals sound really good. But after getting this neural stuff, it's like this is... This is where it's at. So keep the questions coming. I'm just going to play this Petrucci plugin. This is like the low gain amp. And I don't know if this will come across. I think the stream is in stereo. This is a doubler. Which is really cool. It adds a doubling effect. But yeah, if we add like an overdrive to this. Do I put pedals in front of the Apollo? Yeah. Yeah, all the pedals are going right into the guitar input on the Apollo, and it takes them really well. So this is the overdrive pedal in the Petrucci plugin. Going into like the cleanish amp. When I'm working on a new pedal, do I make a handful of prototypes and send them out? Sometimes. Sometimes you just know. You just get a thing and you're like, that's it. That's going to work great. And then sometimes you send out a bunch. The Airline drive, I sent out a few. but even then we knew that it was gonna do really well. Here's the the mid gain amp, the rhythm channel thing. A lot of gain. If you put the gain knob like all the way down on this thing. It has a lot of gain, a lot more than what I'm kind of used to. Because I'm not like, even though I have this kind of shredder guitar, I'm not a shredder. I am getting better with it. You know, those sort of things, like running the tremolo arm. And funny enough, there is a plenty preset pack in this plugin, and I think this one. I don't know if that's it or not. There's like, they're all like so. I think that is it, or maybe it's this one. No, they just have so much echo. Wow. Okay. Will you be able to route an HX Stomp or Iridium through OBS 2? So if you have your Apollo or any sort of interface, yeah, you totally can. I mean, you don't have to use Black Hole to do that. If where it gets difficult is using multiple input sources. So having a mic and a guitar, that's where it gets kind of hinky. But yeah, if you treat the input on your interface as just like the input of an amp, you can totally use it. So yeah, Petrucci has a lot of really long delay settings for sure. Andrew just bought a Sunburst Revstar. That's awesome. It'll be available at 8/16. But okay. These don't clean up quite as well. But that might be just a setting thing. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out in this thing. And I think have I played any Reverend guitars? Thinking about Sensei. I've played Reverend guitars. I haven't played that model. But I think Reverend makes great stuff. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope that we could keep this going, do more live streams, every week. I'm actually going to invest in some better, can't do that. Some better streaming stuff, because basically how I have to do it now is kind of cumbersome with all the inputs and like the devices I have to use to get multiple HDMI sources into a computer. I'm gonna simplify that. I gotta just spend the money on it and make it happen. So we're gonna do that. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. I really want to make this a weekly thing and stick with it. The fact that we don't have to like edit it and do anything after the fact, like the podcast, makes it a lot easier. But on Instagram, if you have Instagram and you saw the post, leave a comment about what you want to see these streams be. What do you want to see next? Sir Harm bought the Golden Fleece yesterday. That's awesome. I'm going to do a video about all the different Golden Fleece. I'll put a pedal board over here and have Golden Fleece, an AU79, a High Road, the top mount, the blackout version, all the things. And we'll kind of run through the different voicings and stuff. But just let me know. I want to get more ideas to do this because I really enjoy it. And it's kind of my way to like get back into the community because I felt kind of removed by, I guess I can take these out now, by, we've been so busy that I've just not had the time to make content like I used to, so this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it, and use the buffer. we will next time. I mean, literally the Mythos buffer, it just, makes your cable sound like it's a foot long connected right to your amp. But thank you guys, Gary. Thank you. Cheers. I appreciate all of you hanging out. And, yeah, I can't wait to keep this up and see where this live streaming thing takes us. I have dreamt of becoming a YouTuber way before the pedal thing really took off. So thanks, guys, and see you soon.